Hello and welcome to the Boot Camp for Your Mind podcast. I am your host, Michelle Woerdeman, certified life, weight, and career coach and founder of Mind Balance Wellness Living. And I am so excited for today's episode. It is super special. It's episode number 11, and we have a guest today. So our special speaker is my friend, my mentor. She's an author, a radio show talk host, or a talk show radio host, motivational speaker, and legit, the list could go on and on. So please join me in welcoming Nicole Perry.
Yay! Thank you. I know we have our imaginary audience with us right now. And our love and grateful mugs that some people can see and some people can't. But thank you so much for having me. I can't tell you how honored and grateful, and I'm just so blessed to call you as a friend and to be able to be on your podcast as a guest.
Yes, I'm so thankful because for those of you listening, you can also thank Nicole because she is part of the reason I have this amazing podcast. So she was my mentor, helped teach me the ropes, record some of my podcasts. So yes, truly, truly thankful.
You did all the hard work. I did some stuff behind the scenes.
And we laughed a lot.
But I really enjoy listening to your podcast.
Thank you. I enjoy listening to it too.
You have to like your own stuff.
You have to, yeah. And it's funny at first, like we talked about it. What?
Is this PG-13? I forget.
Oh yeah, you can, I drop some F-bombs every once in a while. But you know what, like I remember the first time listening and I was like cringing. I was like, ooh, but then I just kind of relaxed. And then I thought about when I was recording them, like how much fun we kind of had. And it was super easy. Like everything kind of just flowed. You know?
Yeah, and I don't think you did swear.
I think I did once. Well, I did on your radio show.
You did on my show, and we had to bleep that out because it's FM, so we had to fix that. You were my first.
I know. Oh, I am privileged.
So what are we talking about today? I know we're talking all about.
So you know what I wanted to talk about, because I think of spring. You know, spring is finally here. I think of spring cleaning. And one thing that I've been working on in my coaching is spring cleaning, but of like your mind, your body, just overall kind of mental wellness. And it got me thinking, because with spring, people that, you know, start to plan vacations this year, finally, yay. And they start to think about, you know, bathing suit season. And a lot of times, like, you know, men and women, they get down on their bodies, like they get down on themselves. And so the idea I was thinking about, because all of a sudden people start to do like these quick fad diets or like these instant changes. And I can't wait to hear you talk about your book. I am on a love diet, but I thought you'd be great to talk to about kind of your journey with fad diets, kind of what was your aha moment that got you, you know, to kind of rethink the way you were doing things and ultimately have long-term lasting, you know, weight loss.
Well, so I have been one of those fad diet people for many years, dating back to the Slim Fast and grapefruit diet and all those different things. And, you know, I mean, I'm just a normal human being.
Yeah.
I'm a normal woman, normal human being that got caught up in everything from traditions of women previous to me that have influenced me, from media, from magazines, from everything that we surround ourselves with.
Yeah.
And for me, the aha moment, the main aha moment to turn my life around was because I was just so unhealthy. And I was over 200 pounds and I was not healthy. Some people are over 200 pounds and they're healthy as can be. And I
Yeah.
was not. I was over I'm only 5'6", and I was over 200, and I was not healthy. And for me, like it had to start with my heart.
Yeah. No, what made you realize that though? Because I feel like so many people struggle
Well,
with that emotional aspect of it.
well, it was the crowning moment was the day I came home from a photo shoot.
Okay.
And I, tried to lose the weight up to the photo shoot and didn't. I was so grateful that she could just shave 20 pounds off of me just by helping me position myself in certain ways.
Yeah.
And I, I talk about it in the beginning of my book. I ate a blueberry muffin for lunch because it was there. There were grapes and muffins and whatever, because she had some things for people to eat during the photo shoot, because it was like a whole day thing or several hours. And then I grabbed a chocolate chip one for the ride home, because I drove to New Hampshire for the photo shoot. So it was a long drive.
Yeah.
And I came home and I sat down at the island, and I told my husband, I really didn't feel any fatter from eating the muffins.
Yeah.
Call them the
I know,
muffin.
you didn't gain weight just from the 2 muffins.
No, but I don't want to eat unhealthy either. And I just said to him, I said, that's it. I'm going to create my own damn diet, and I'm going to do my own thing. And I don't know how that's going to happen or what it's going to look like. So this was before I discovered the high blood pressure and the cholesterol.
Oh, okay.
I just knew I just wanted to create my own damn diet for myself, for me, wherever I live, whatever age I am, whether I'm on vacation or not.
Yeah.
Regardless of where I am, I'm goosebumping right now.
I
Regardless
know.
of where I am, I just wanted to create something that worked for me personally. I wanted to customize it.
Yeah, which is so huge. I'm so glad you said that, because oftentimes we'll compare what we're trying to do that worked for somebody else. It doesn't necessarily work for myself or whoever, and you start to really kind of get down on yourself. Which, in terms of like a weight loss journey, that's the emotional aspect is huge. And when I will coach my clients on it, and you've heard me talk about it, but kind of that think, feel, act cycle, you can try to change your actions all the time, like go to different diets and exercise. But if you don't tune into what your feelings are and like what your thoughts are, you won't have long-term success. You have to kind of like go back to like the mental aspect of it.
Yeah. And I love that you said your thoughts, because I'm starting to become the watcher of my thoughts.
Yes. Isn't it interesting? You're like, ooh, like you have, what do we have? 70,000 thoughts a day, and half of them are just absurd. And it's kind of like, when I started to do that a few years ago, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. And then just let it go.
And let it go. But when I'm just noticing that as I become the watcher of my thoughts, I'm having even less anxiety.
Yeah. Now tell me why.
Well, because, all right, for instance, I really should be preparing for a radio interview right now because
there's that word should.
Yeah, right. So because I'm actually doing a radio recording for my show tomorrow. And I already started and I'm already on it, and I've done this for 8 years. So I kind of know what I'm doing. But that anxiety little, it's not really a monster. It's sort of like a little bear. I mean, I don't know how
annoying little.
Yeah, it's not really that scary. I mean, for you, we talked about this before. You said you have more anxiety than you do depression. I have more depression than I have anxiety. So maybe that's why we get along so well, because we're like a little puzzle piece together. We balance each other out. But when I'm really watching the thoughts, watching them, like really looking at them as they're coming into my head, and I'm becoming more present. And because I'm becoming more present in the present moment, I'm having less anxiety. And I don't know how that's happening.
That's so great.
It's just happening. So
Yeah.
even though I should be doing something else right now, I'm just really dialed into this moment. I have plenty of time to wrap up that interview. So I'm not letting it. And frankly, I'm being my own coach. Like,
Yeah.
I need the coach and support of you and other coaches. I am so grateful. I wouldn't be the person I am today
Yeah.
without having coaches.
Coaches that's what made me like, it was life changing for me, what, 4 or 5 years ago now? Like my life did a 360 and I've never been happier. Like it's just, yeah, it's huge. And to your point where like you're questioning the less anxiety because you're more present. Anxiety a lot of the times is just worry about the future, even though we don't necessarily think of it that way. So when you can practice mindfulness and being in the present, you're not worried about like the other noise. You're just focusing on what you're focusing on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's huge. Okay. So tell me, so you had this haha moment that you wanted to all of a sudden create your own diet, like that you could take no matter what age, where you went. So how did the book come about? Like where did the idea of being on a love diet come from?
Well, so when I came home from that, photo shoot and those, muffin meals, and they were the good
Love
muffins.
your face, by the way.
And they were the good muffins with the big chunky sugary bling on the top, right?
Mhm.
I came home from that. I said, that's it. I'm going to create my own damn diet. And I need to balance out the word diet because it's such a 4-letter word with something positive. And so I said, I'm going to go on a love diet. And my husband said, oh my God, Nicole, genius, pure genius. And he doesn't even remember saying that. And I quoted him because I was like, oh my God, he thinks it's genius. And I think he's genius. So, oh my God, it must be genius because, and so I wrote it down and that's when I started writing the book. And I started writing the book from that moment. I said, how about I just, journal for 365 days. I mean, I'm not going to do a 1 week. It's not going to work in 1 week. It's not going to work in 3 months. And I don't know how long it's going to take. It might take longer than 1 year. That's what I said to myself. But I said, let me just capture 1 year of my life and journal, just like the movie, Julia, or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Julia Childs. Yeah.
Yes.
And there was a woman who just did a blog for a whole year and she just did every recipe of her book. And that kind of came to me and I'm like, oh, I could just journal my own life and just rather than blog it, journal it. And that's how that came out. And
you know what I love? Oh, sorry.
I just started building on it and doing one thing at a time that I could handle. And it started with going to the doctor and I have high blood pressure. Really? I've never had high blood pressure before. And it was something I could actually do. I could sink my teeth into. I could actually, I could take care of this. I could fix this sodium thing. All I have to do is read and not put salt on my food when I cook and eat and just get a handle on it. So that's where, and it built. I don't know how many items are on my love diet list. It's just built into my mind. I don't know how many numbers of there, because it's like 12, 13, 15 maybe, but I don't know what's there. I just know each thing I did it and it slowly worked into my life and I did it as I could handle it.
Well, that's such a great point too, because oftentimes we try to change things too fast, too much all at once, and it's not realistic. So when you can just do one small change at a time, and what I love, multiple things about reading your book, but one is I could hear you saying some of the things in like your voice. I hear you in my mind as I was reading them, and I would just start laughing. But it's such a great book because it's very truthful and it's raw and it's honest. And like you said, you're a human. And there's so many diet books out there now, like do this, don't do this, don't. And it's just so overwhelming for people. And I think
I wanted to capture it like different scenarios as I was journaling. I wanted to capture my thoughts.
Yeah.
And you're about the thoughts and circumstances
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. And so I wanted to capture my thoughts, and I wanted to really, you know, do the one thing at a time, capture the thoughts and share the little stories so that it would resonate with people, so people would remember.
Yeah. Like I think about, was it the Christmas tree? Like, I just think it was so funny, different things that kind of happened that.
Oh, in the book, The Christmas Tree. Did you get to the bathing suit thing yet?
No.
I don't even know what chapter it's in, but I talk about trying to wear this bathing suit, and it was a barely there one piece. And I was probably 18, 19, like maybe early 20s, but I really feel like I was 18. I can't remember. I wrote it down in the book, and now I don't remember, because I'm just aging and I just don't remember everything like I used to. But the premise was that I talk about wearing the bikini and putting it on and shifting my body in the mirror, just, to try to make myself look the way women look in magazines.
Yeah.
And I never wore it in public. I never did.
Which is so, like, it's sad. Like, as your older self, like, don't you feel bad for your younger self?
I do, but I if I'm gonna be honest, like in hindsight, the older me is sort of like, well, if you just worked out a little bit, Nicole, you might have looked a little bit better in that bathing suit.
No, but
you see those, and I'm just trying to keep it real.
Yeah.
Those honest to goodness thoughts that come into my head, it is what it is.
And sometimes you just gotta laugh at them.
It's funny because, oh my God, I thought I was fat.
Yeah.
And I was,
and
I was 18. I wasn't fat.
I look at pictures from years ago and I'm like, God, I remember thinking at that time, like, thinking I was fat, thinking I needed to lose weight. And now I'm like, good God, I wish I looked like that now.
Right? But I really don't. And I remember when I got married, I actually said to somebody, because we were talking about how when we look back at our wedding dress and our wedding photo, and I said to somebody, I don't want to look back at my photo and wow, I wish I could look like that again. I want to look better than what I used to look like in the wedding photo.
Yeah.
And I said that to somebody. I don't even remember if it like resonated or sat with them. I can't remember who I said it to, but I said it to somebody.
It's such a great point, because I was coaching a client on this, and she said, I just want to be like the person I was, I think she said, when she was 40. She was in her 60s now. I said, but look at that person, and kind of like that person brought you here. So don't want to be that person. You want to be a new person, like a new version. And yes, okay, maybe a different number on the scale you want to see, but you don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
Yep.
And frankly, my body, like we need to, like, going back to being in the present moment, it's really important for me to be grateful, to love my body and be grateful.
Yeah.
Right? Because my body is doing everything that it's supposed to be doing.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
My feet help me walk, my eyes help me see, I'm able to, eliminate.
Yeah.
I'm able to chew my food. Yeah. I'm able to digest my food.
Yeah.
My body is doing everything that it's supposed to be doing. Now, I got a big, chunky tire in the center that I would love to, let go of. And I think that it will happen. I'm probably one of the least amount of people that can say they only gained about 6 pounds during COVID, because I have really hardly gained anything. And I think the reason I did gain a couple of pounds is because there's the uncertainty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, and with that level of stress too, with uncertainty, a lot of times, that will produce stress. And with stress, we know that there's that hormone, cortisol, which people don't realize is actually keeping you from losing weight. And it's probably actually helping you gain weight, with whether it's lack of sleep or just like that, extra boost of like the cortisol, you actually gain weight.
And I again, most people, I mean, what's the average? Have you heard 25 pounds, 15?
I think around 15, yeah, 12 to 15.
Yeah. So a lot of that is, I'm sure, the cortisol, the stress, the uncertainty.
Yeah.
And some of it is, being stuck in our house and
Yeah.
not being able to leave and being bored and going to get something else to snack on.
Oh yeah, no, totally. And you know what I think is, it's actually a good point, because like you, like myself, like I didn't gain any weight, and I might have fluctuated a couple pounds here and there, but I do anyway.
So you're like me. So you
Yes.
didn't. Okay, I didn't know. So
And
you're.
you know what? I think the reason is we're very in tune with our emotions, our thoughts, and that's where it all stems from. Because so if our thoughts are what create our feelings that drive our actions, if you're overeating because you're stressed out, you're trying to hide those, emotions. Or if you're drinking too much, same reason. So, and I think that played a big part in a lot of people's weight gain.
All right,
but
so
here we are, we're spring cleaning.
We are, and I'm going into my interviewer mode. I can't help it, but I want you to talk about your bathing suit experience, because you had one recently that you shared with me.
I did.
And yours is positive.
It is. And you know why? Because to your point, I feed my body a lot of love. Like, sure, would I like to be a little bit smaller? Yeah, but you know what? I'm healthy. So I saw this beautiful bathing suit top, and I wanted it. I was like, I really want it, but this means that like I'm going full two-piece. Like, you're gonna see my stomach, you're gonna see my back, you're just gonna see it all. And I was like, you know what? I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, this is me. You know what I mean? And I laughed. My kids, I was dancing around wearing it when we were on vacation. I was like, my belly wants to see the sun too. And they're like, oh my God. But you know what? My kids looked at me and they're like, you look beautiful. Because they don't have all of that judgment. My daughter just turned 11 yesterday. My son just turned 8 in February. They don't have all that mental drama judgment going on. They just saw their mom and thought, I looked beautiful.
Yeah. And do your kids care if you lose 5 pounds?
No. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care. Like, they just love me for me. And so I've been trying to kind of, see myself through their eyes sometimes too. But I walked around. I mean, granted, I wasn't like walking as if I was on like the catwalk or anything, but I wasn't hiding. Like I just let myself enjoy. And I'm looking around at the pool and I'm like, nobody's looking at me. Like, nobody's looking at me, judging me. Only I, you know what I mean? In the past, only I would be like, oh, I shouldn't be wearing that. Like, so it was just so freeing, because now I'm like, I can't wait to rock it in my bathing suit or in my backyard, because it's such a beautiful top.
Oh, so I love that story. And I'm getting there, but I'm not where you're at yet. But I want to talk about, can I talk about something about exercise?
Yes, please.
Is this in our plan for today?
Yeah.
I don't know what the plan is.
Yeah.
Well, I went for a run a couple weeks ago. Now I haven't run in years, and the last time I ran, I did a half marathon. It's probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and then I did after that, because it struggled with it. It was not easy to do.
That's not easy. No.
And then I did a couple of little 5Ks after that, just in my neighborhood. And because the weather is getting nicer, right? I wanted to, my husband started running and I'm kind of like, oh, I was kind of getting a little bit of the bug. And
Yeah.
while I was running, I thought to myself, oh, maybe I could do this once a week. And then another thought came in my head. Well, I don't want to put that much pressure on myself. So maybe I could just do this maybe once every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kept adding more time in there. And I decided to give myself a realistic window of 6 weeks. And because
Nice.
I realized, and I'm not making excuses, and that's not where I'm going with this. Where I'm going with
Yeah.
this is what I realized, if I do something that's realistic, then the 6 weeks will turn into 5 or 4. And
Mm-hmm.
so basically what happened was I ran 2 Saturdays in a row.
That's so great. So you enjoy running?
I do like it. I don't have all the gadgets I used to have when I went, because I used to bring my phone and listen to music and do all the great things. And now I'm just running to the sound of nature. And
Oh, okay.
I do like it. And I want to get more steps. You know how a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
Fitbit things, and
Yeah.
I do get a lot of steps in because I'm kind of, I have that built-in ADD where it really comes in handy. Like makes me get up and move around a lot. And I just wanted to like move outside in some way. And I really want to exercise my knees. And
Okay.
so,
So now running doesn't bother your knees?
well, the more you use your ligaments, the stronger they get.
Yeah. True,
So,
true.
so like think of physical therapy. Like
Yeah.
they're going to move your ankles and move your knees and make
Mm-hmm.
you move them. And so I'm just moving them on my own outside. And I'm doing it I'm in like the baby runner. I thought I was a 16-minute mile. And
Yeah.
I came in at a 13-minute mile.
That's
So
awesome.
I was really proud of myself. And my point is that we need to not set unrealistic expectations. I'm
Mm-hmm.
53 and a half. And
Yeah.
I started to think to myself, if I just, put the 6 week thing for myself, maybe it'll shrink down to once a week. And it frankly already did.
Yeah.
And and then I thought to myself, if I just run 2 miles a week, one day a week for
Mm-hmm.
the rest of my life, and maybe some weeks I don't do it because of whatever,
Yeah.
but what a great gift that would be to love my body more so that I can move and be more energetic when I'm older.
I love that. You've mentioned that before too. Like a lot of what you do now is so that you can walk up your stairs in your high heels when you're 90. I love it.
118. It's 118 now.
Okay, 118. Go, Nicole. No,
With my little glass of wine,
mm-hmm. Oh my
going
gosh.
going to meet somebody at the chess club.
Me.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, I love that because you're the small steps, you're doing something you enjoy. And I think that's a big thing too, because a lot of times we try to force ourselves into certain exercises that we think we should be doing, but if we don't enjoy it, we're not going to do it. So it's like find something you enjoy and do it, like dancing. Like
And I like a variety. You're a fun person. You like variety, but
yeah.
you like spontaneity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you
Yeah.
like variety,
Mm-hmm.
and you like surprises too, right? I'm
Oh my
guessing.
God, totally.
Yeah, that was a good guess. So
Yeah.
you like those kinds of things. I don't really like necessarily surprises or spontaneity, but I do like variety.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I noticed, so here's another thing. I noticed that because I usually dance every day, and I did dance
Mm-hmm.
today, but
Nice.
I'm getting into it's getting a little stagnant.
Yeah.
And that happens every 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
And
Which is
so
totally normal. Yeah.
so I switch it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I started, incorporating a little bit of the running because I can go outside. And I also started doing yoga. So I'm like mixing it up a little bit when it gets stagnant.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, I like to say I'm moving my body today so that when I'm 100, I can move my body by myself and not need the assistance of somebody else, to hold on to.
It's like, it's so important, like, to just continue to take care of ourselves for our future selves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, this has been so much fun.
I know. So was this a half hour?
I think a little bit longer.
Yes. The
But
time goes by fast with you.
oh my God, same with you, totally. And where can people get copies of your book?
So they can go to ilovemydiet.com.
Perfect. I love that. I love mydiet.com. It's such a great book, like such an easy read. And you have a workbook that goes along with it.
Yes. And that's on the website too. And it's basically a journal. And the whole journal, it's like a 180-page journal, like a typical size journal. That's blank pages. But then right in the beginning, it's one question that sort of correlates to each chapter that you can ask yourself as you're reading the book.
That is what a great idea. I love mine. I love my diet. No, I love diet.
I love my diet journal. Yes. And I can't believe that the website wasn't taken. Like nobody has ever said, I love my diet.
Yeah. Those two 4-letter words don't usually ever go together.
Right. And so I'm really grateful and blessed that I have the website, that I wrote the book. I just hope that I really help people, be touched in some way to make the small changes one at a time, not a laundry list.
Yeah.
Just one small change at a time.
Well, you're helping a lot of people. So thank you.
And so are you, including me.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go so you can go work on your interview for tomorrow. And thank you so much, Nicole. I appreciate everything. And I'm so glad I was able to have you on my show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Bye.